Welcome back. So now we're going to look at 1.16. Hope you had a lot of fun with Don't Tell Aunt Rhody. Hope you got it down really well. But now we're off to À Clair de Lune, a French folk song, another folk song. And this one's pretty popular. You may have heard it in some movies. You may have heard it in some not lullabies, but other people singing it, or in a piano piece if you're a piano student, ever take private lessons. But À Clair de Lune has a couple of things that we're going to add to this. We're going to be doing what's called a skip or a jump, okay? So the very first couple measures, you're doing exactly what we did before. We had the melody kind of staying the same, going up and down, but you'll notice something really particular on measure 3. On measure 3, and I want to talk about this first before we review everything else, we're going to jump from an open D to the F sharp. So what happened? Well, we skipped a note. We went from just the open D, we skipped E and went straight to F sharp. And that's what I call a skip, all right? So when we skip like that, you have to use multiple fingers. Now, if you're not a bassist, you're not used to this yet. Bassists have already been doing this from the open string G going down to 4 fingers F sharp. So they've already had to just drop down all 4 fingers, or more than one for sure. And violins, violas haven't had that much to work with at that, and cello's kind of working with it already from E to F sharp. Now, what I mean by skipping as well, why I bring this up is because you're skipping finger order, or not order necessarily, but just what finger comes next right away. And so we're going to be going from an open string and having to place more than one finger down is going to be kind of a challenge, because you have to be completely accurate, just like you have been for this whole time, on where your finger's placed, and just kind of practicing on that. So before you go on to review and everything else, try to just practice how to play D and F sharp, D and F sharp, just those 2 pitches without playing the E in between, or playing G for that matter. Now, if you had a few chances to practice that, go ahead and review the entire exercise or entire piece. What is a time signature? What pitches are you playing throughout the whole piece? What is the rhythm? How many measures there are? And is there a repeat sign or just a final bar line? Once you have those figured out, go ahead and try to play along with me. Okay, cellos, let's try to play this. But before we do, let's make sure we can identify the pitches and the right rhythm by singering all through it. If you already had a chance to label everything by pencil, that's fine. If you didn't and you want to try reading it, let's listen to me first and see if you got it right. So let's check yourself. We're going to do this very slowly. We're going to singer it. If you don't want to pluck and sing, but just want to finger along, that's an option as well. Here we go. We're going to start from the very beginning on open D. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 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 E, F sharp, E, D, F sharp, E, E, D, rest, D, 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 E, F sharp, E, D, F sharp, E, E, D, rest, rest, rest. All right. Now, if you got that 100% correct, awesome. If you're struggling, but you got the right pitches and it's a little too fast for you, practice it a little bit slower. Or if you're just struggling in general to get the right rhythm or the right fingering order, do like we did do like we did on exercise 1.15, where we broke it down 1 measure at a time and then added measure 1 and 2. Then we did measure 3 by itself, measure 4 by itself, then measure 3 and 4, and then combining all 4. And make sure before you move on to the next step, like we did on 1.15, that you always get it right, at least 5 times repeatedly perfect. If not, then you just got to retry again until you get it right, and do it slower. Remember, speed is not the huge issue here, it's accuracy. And if you can make it even sounding like music and not just random notes.